Bernie Sanders, as a birthday present to me yesterday, announced that he was running for president of the United States of America.
Can we show real news sources, TJ? The New York Times.
Yes,
the president has deemed it to be
this. No, he didn't.
The enemy of the people.
Enemy of the people.
This is in fact an enemy of us.
From the paper of record to enemy of the people in one term.
It's pretty crazy how, I mean, not even a full term either. They just flipped.
I mean, Donald Trump is our lawfully elected president. I mean, if he says that the enemy of the people, TJ, I think we should go to the New York Times.
Who elected the New York Times, huh?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I think we go there and protest outside the head of the New York Times, dude, and say, yep, you got to be gone.
So Bernie Sanders, once the progressive outlier, joins a crowded presidential field. Senator Bernie Sanders, the Vermont independent and 2016 Democratic primary runner-up whose populist agenda has helped push the party to the left, embarked on Tuesday on a second run for president in a bid that will test whether he retains his anti-establishment appeal or loses ground to newer faces who have adopted many of his ideas.
This researcher discovered
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm glad that researcher did that. You know what? I agree with Donald Trump. The New York Times is the enemy of the people. It's also trying to get me to buy flowers, too, so...
Lavender Dreams.
Yeah, I don't.
Those were some pretty flowers.
They were. They really were. And you know what? The reason is I was looking for a flower delivery service the other day for some like Valentine's Day kind of shit. Because I told Chelsea we're not going to celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day because fuck that. We'll do it during
going out on that day to like eat, especially at a nicer place. Is just like it's an exercise in futility.
I just basically told her like we're gonna have our Valentine's Day like over the weekend and shit. So I tried to get some flowers delivered on the weekend, and I didn't realize this, but that's practically fucking impossible.
If you can do it.
Yes.
If you order like a month and a half, 2 months ahead of time, I used to do it every year when I was married. I don't do the whole like traditional Valentine's Day anymore. Me and Ashley just kind of go out.
Yeah.
Do something crazy.
Yeah, I'd rather just do something special whenever rather than
you got to order in January.
Calendar thing. But yeah, so now I'm getting flower ads everywhere the fuck I go. And
of course.
I can't, if I put ad blocker on, then every news site we try to go to for this show.
Big Brother is watching you, TJ.
Hey!
He wants your money, TJ.
You got ad blocker on, huh? Could you like disable that, bro?
Hey, could you disable that so we could psychologically manipulate you into purchasing something you don't want or need?
Yes.
Thanks.
It works for
why do I gotta make that devil's bargain to get my news anymore?
I have no idea.
You know what's great? Is there's an algorithm that just figured Paul out, and Paul's like, I'm angry, and it's like, ooh, but I do want a new mouse pad.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's true.
I'm going to tell you how badly, and we're getting way off here, but whatever. I'm going to tell you how badly they got me at this fucking point. I was perusing Instagram the other day, and I saw there is a service that will take usually amusingly bad tweets and frame them and sell them to you in an ornate frame for fucking $70.
That's actually brilliant.
It is, because I was this close to getting it.
See?
I was at the checkout, and I'm like, wait a minute. No.
What am I doing?
Yeah, like, what the fuck am I thinking here? I mean, I'm honestly reconsidering my reluctance, because that Kanye West tweet that they had, I forget what it was, but in that gold ornate frame, it was just a fucking work of art.
See, what they need to do
Damn, they got idiots buying framed tweets, dude.
They do.
Right.
They need to let people...
You in the wrong business.
Send them a link to any tweet.
Yeah.
And then you can... Because you could just find, like... I found like, one that I would frame.
I just feel like the price point needs to be a little lower, and they'd get way more business.
The only tweet that I would ever frame is the pinnacle of... Probably what will be the pinnacle of my Twitter career, which is Uwe Boll replying at Paul's ego, I also agree.
I also
agree. I agree again. That's what he says. So it implies that Uwe Boll agreed with me twice.
Wow.
At least.
So you know you're at the top.
So I give a fuck what anybody else has to say now.
All right, so Trump on Bernie 2020. Let's just watch it, I guess. Fuck.
Come on, CNN. Come on, fake news. Oh, another ad. Okay.
A tasty thriller?
Ooh, yummy.
The Chef.
Everyone Delicious. Go buy The Chef.
James Patterson, The Chef.
Oh, Bernie Sanders is running, yeah. That's
Bernie
right.
Sanders.
Personally, I think he missed his time. But I like Bernie because he is one person that, you know, on trade, he sort of would agree on trade. I'm being very tough on trade. He was tough on trade. The problem is he doesn't know what to do about it. We're doing something very spectacular on trade, but I wish Bernie well.
Spectacular.
God, it's amazing.
It'll be interesting
the
to
trade
see how
stuff.
he does. I think what happened to Bernie maybe was not so nice. I think he was taken advantage of. He ran great 4 years ago, and he was not treated with respect by Clinton. And that was too bad. I thought what happened to Bernie Sanders 4 years ago was quite sad as it pertains
Man, I
to our
hate
country.
having to
So we'll see
agree
how he
with
does.
fucking Donald Trump.
I know. It pains me.
I hate listening to
It's
this
actually
guy
it's
and
quite
puzzling
sad.
through his second grade level sentence structure and going like, all right, I kind of fundamentally agree with that, I guess.
But Paul, you're not the most. You're not feeling the burn. Well, you did. You said you felt the burn.
I mean, I felt
Back in the
burn.
day.
I don't think I felt it as hard as some people felt it. Your wife like canvassed for Bernie, didn't she? Or like was very involved.
I don't think she canvassed.
Well, she was very involved anyway. I remember she was probably the first one of all of us that I remember being super into Bernie. I was never super into Bernie, but I like the guy because I think he's got legislative credibility. He's got a record that kind of speaks for itself. It's long, and you don't find many examples of Bernie Sanders walking over his own principles.
Right. But this is the moment that you consider the definitive.
I mean,
walking over the principles.
I talked to you about
Moment
this a couple of days ago. We were discussing
Yes.
it. You remember?
We did, yeah.
And
You said I don't forgive any politician that went to Hillary Clinton over Bernie, including Bernie himself.
yeah, I mean, I can't exempt him from that. And like that, watching that convention was one of the saddest things I've ever seen news-wise.
Yeah.
It was insane to watch him bend the knee in front of a crowd full of people chanting his name. Like that delegation was clearly there for Bernie. And one by one, their superdelegates and representatives stood up and handed it to Clinton. He said nothing. And he did nothing. And there are a lot of people that give me this cross argument. And they're like, well, if he'd have done something, then he'd be totally delegitimized this cycle and nobody would want him. And I'd be like, not for me. Now, maybe I'm alone, but I'm a person that if he'd have stood up, and even if Trump had won because he split the Democratic vote, I wouldn't blame his ass for that. He got railroaded.
Yeah, how come the blame is never put on Hillary? She's the one that fucking cheated and manipulated and bought
The
shit off.
DNC.
We need the first female president. Hooray!
Like, how come she always gets a pass and all this, and it's up to Bernie to saddle that burden, you know?
Because the people that advocate for the status quo always blame the outliers. They always blame the people that are coming in with a new or fresh perspective. And I mean, this is even so much a fresh perspective, but maybe it's one in America that's just been marginalized for so long. And pretended like, and now that it's even come to the forefront a little bit, it's like, all you hear on the other side is like, it's radical, like the radical left is now here. Bernie Sanders doesn't want people to go bankrupt for healthcare costs. That's radical. Oh, my God.
Insane. He's insane.
He's grown mad with power. Free college. Oh, no. Oh, no, heavens.
I don't know. I'm just, I'm kind of pooping in Bernie Bro's front yard, and I'm doing it. Number one, I'm not taking any positions I don't agree with.
I mean, I've had people come to me and be like, TJ, dude, you need to, like, make Paul see the light on this, dude. You need to make Paul see the light.
Somebody doesn't know me very well.
And I'm like,
they're sending messages like that. I see the light when I see it. I don't get made to see the light too often.
My thing is, like, first of all, everyone should fucking vote their conscience anyway. That's what I believe.
Or not vote their conscience.
Right. Or just abstain from voting based on their whatever you think is the best thing you should be doing, that's what you should be doing.
I agree.
You know?
I'll ask Paul this. So Paul,
if you think Trump is the best and he's good for the country and he's good for what you want the future to be like, then you fucking vote for Trump. If you think that Bernie's the guy, vote for Bernie. If you think Kamala Harris, whoever the fuck you think.
This is what I'll ask Paul. So how would you
Even
feel
if I think you're a moron.
How would you feel if Bernie was elected president? Would you be happier than, let's say, a Trump, or would you just think it's meaningless?
Sure. I think he'd probably be better situated to be a president than Trump would.
But you're just not going to ever support Bernie again. Is what you're saying.
Here's the thing. I made another tweet about how I just have a feeling that Bernie is going to pull a repeat and he's going to get all of this support, but the DNC seems to be lining up behind Kamala. Superdelegates are going to swing it towards her, and he's going to give a speech like, I'm proud to stand in front of you and welcome the next president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
History repeating itself, basically.
Yeah.
Like all of his infrastructure and shit.
And I don't see why people are so resistant to that challenge. They're so resistant to the idea that past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior, even though it's a well-defined human principle.
I mean, a lot of people just disagree with you on the basis of they think he should do that.
Right.
Like their mentality is
he did
Trump,
what was best.
Trump is the ultimate evil. Mm-hmm. So anybody on the Democratic side is just acceptable. Right. And he should do that. He should. Now, I don't agree with those people. I'm more on your side than I am with those fucks because I don't agree with that mentality or that line of thinking.
Well, how did you rationalize this?
How did
as a Bernie bro, as
how
a
did
Bernie
I rationalize
voter?
It? I mean, look, I just feel like.
Because you see what he's got his fucking arm around there.
Right.
You know what that is.
I do. And
you know
so
that is a standing reputation for everything this man standing next to her purports to stand for.
Yeah, not only do I know what she is, he knows what she is, and he knows that we know what she is.
He told us what she was.
And he's still standing there trying... Look, does that leave a bad taste in my mouth? It absolutely does.
Doesn't it go a little beyond a bad taste in your mouth, TJ?
I guess not, because as soon as he announced, I was feeling the burn again. I'm like, you know what? Let's right the wrongs of history. Let's get this motherfucker in the White House because I'm just so fond of his legislative agenda, and I believe that he believes it. I mean, look, he's still...
You see it as Bernie playing the long game here.
I mean, look,
and everyone, 2020 is going to vindicate it.
I understand what Bernie's doing here. I think it's not the right thing to do. If I was advising him, I would have told him either just stay the fuck out of it at the very least or actively run against her.
It's a political calculation. That's all this is.
But he made... Yeah, and that's right. And but that's not what I like Bernie Sanders for. I don't like Bernie Sanders because he's a Machiavellian schemer. And this is just an example of that
be a
side
politician,
of him,
you kind of have to be, though. There's just no other way to look at it.
To a certain extent, and I completely agree with some of the people's counter-arguments that he was damned if you do, damned if you don't with this. Because they're right. There would be a huge cross-section of people if he had gone like, you know what, I was railroaded by the DNC, I'm running independent, and split the Democratic vote.
Yeah, I mean, if he pleased you, he'd have fucked off someone else.
He'd have been blamed for Trump until eternity, and he would have been a persona non grata politician for a lot of people.
He'd be the new Ralph
But you know
Nader.
what? For people like me, he would have been a fucking hero. I would have jumped up and voted for him again if he ran after that. Even if he was buried by the media, eschewed by the Democratic establishment. When you take a stand, when you get fucked in the ass, that, to me, is the type of politician I want running this fucking country.
Well, let's take a little bit of a bullet train to Newquisttown, because we've had this tweet up for a while.
No, come on.
So Paul said...
Can we not?
Let's do it. No, we got to do it, because we're eventually going to get to a comment that's so fucking hilariously up its own ass that you're just going to...
I'm being facetious. I do want to see the comment.
So, for the record... This is what Paul said. For the record, this is when I really felt the burn back in 2016. In fact, that burn is still fucking raw, fresh, and painful. Now you're telling me the cure for this burn is to touch the same old dusty hot stove again in 2020? So basically, Paul's making a fool me once, you know...
Shame on you, fool me twice, can't get fooled
again.
Can't get
fooled the fool again, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame... Yeah, so, okay. So this is Vadim... claps back at Paul.
Snap.
Okay, Paul's ego. So
do it in the voice.
Well, you're better at the voice.
Okay, Paul's ego. So instead, he should have not thrown her any support and let the dipshit who was vowing to dismantle the EPA thought global warming was a Chinese hoax win? The guy who campaigned on putting in judges opposed to Roe v. Wade has? Brilliant plan, Paul.
All right. So... Paul hits back with, well, I guess you do a better Paul voice, too.
Oh, yeah.
So
Not sure if you read the news, but the dipshit won anyway. Now the only difference is that Bernie left his integrity back in 2016, draped over the smiling shoulders of Hillary Clinton. If he'd taken a stand, we'd be having a different discussion.
Okay. So then we get to this.
Oh, my God. Do I have to?
No, I'll do it.
All right, please.
I'm not going to do the voice.
Okay.
Yeah, no kidding, Paul Zigo. He won by 55,000 votes and lost the popular vote by 3 mil. Yeah, because that matters in America, right?
Yeah.
It was razor close and easily could have swung the other way. He was projected a 30% chance in most polls. Well, Huffington Post said 98% chance Hillary, so. And it was his lucky day. Would have been intensely stupid and against his ideals not to support
When
her.
are these fucking liberals gonna stop with this luck argument? Man, I am sick of hearing how Trump got lucky. No. Wrong, liberals. Trump capitalized on your stupid ass selection of an unelectable politician that nobody wants and nobody likes. Start owning it, or you're never going to learn from it, Vadim, and the rest of lefty poll.
All right, so hold up.
But you know what? Here's the counter argument. What you always hear is this, like, Bernie ruined it. Bernie spoiled the pot. You know, if Bernie had done that, he'd shit in the pot. It's like, no, Hillary shit in the pot.
Hillary was the turd in the pot.
That's what I'm saying, because she took over the fucking pot.
The DNC shit in the pot, and the turd was Hillary Clinton.
She fucking goddamn railroaded the American people, because Bernie Sanders could have actually won a general election.
Gentlemen, I need a gavel. All right.
Gentlemen!
Listen, no, hold on. Let me just get to this comment. Hold on.
All right.
And I guess it's not even Vadim's comment that really gets me.
Okay.
But we'll go through this whole line of comments, replies. We're just going 4 down here. Okay, so Adam St. Paul says, there's no point in arguing Paul's ego about this. As far back as the DP days, he enjoys being an unapologetic nonconformist when it comes to voting, and that's fine.
I'm fine with that.
Fair enough.
It's true.
All right, so then Vadim says, I agree there's no point, but it's not exactly fine. He's a smart dude and therefore naturally has respect from his followers and the ability to shape opinions. Well, maybe he got that by having unconventional opinions that people wanted to hear.
I got to that point, if I do indeed occupy that point, by having unconventional opinions and sticking by them.
Yeah. If he's going to be unreasonable about an issue, reasonable people should argue with. I love this. I, Vadim Newquist, am the arbiter of reason.
Yes.
Yes.
Me and my cat are the gatekeepers of what's a reasonable argument now. Fuck you, Vadim.
How are you unreasonable? It's like
hold on.
Paul's a guy that's on Twitter just putting his opinion out there. What's unreasonable about what you did? It wasn't like you said, like, I'm going to blow up a building unless my views are the views that reach the forefront.
Right, and so then Vadim says, I'd want people to do the same with me as no one is immune. Yeah, okay, so whatever. He sniffs his own farts.
Nobody cares to do the same with you.
So then, Adam St. Paul, whose first comment you were fine with.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be fine with this one, because this is the dumbest shit ever. That's the thing, though. I don't honestly believe he is acting in good faith. Even if Bernie did not endorse Hillary, he'd find some other reason not to support him.
And I bet that one like on that is Vadim Newquist. What do you want to bet?
I bet
you click on it. If you click in the background on that, you'll be able to... Oh, never mind. You got to log in. Never mind. I bet that's Vadim. I bet it's Vadim.
Probably. Let me check on my phone.
Yeah. Fuck you. I'm not coming to you and trying to invalidate ad hoc your entire fucking argument before you make it by claiming that you're being disingenuous. I think you're both being stupid, but I think you are making fucking arguments from good faith. At the very least, I give you that much. But because I don't line up and goose step with the rest of the fucking Bernie bros, I'm making a disingenuous argument now. Why don't you post some more B-roll of your dead cat, you dumb fuck? Because I know that like was you, Vadim. Why don't you make up another story about how you got like 1 million blowjobs at an IHOP, you dumb cunt? Leave the political commentary to the fucking big boys. I know you don't like my opinion, but you better believe I stand on it solid as a motherfucking rock. And you better believe I'm not going to let some lefty learned nothing from the election of Donald Trump, openly gets likes saying that Donald Trump lucked out in 2016. You dumb motherfucker!
Hey,
Eat
Paul.
a fat fucking dick, you cat impersonator! Who the fuck is this kid? Aha! Aha! It was you that liked that.
Was it?
There it is.
Was Vadim?
There it is. Did your cat accidentally step on your fucking phone and light that one up?
Your dead cat.
Fuck you, asshole. I'm supposed to engage with you in a conversation when you're stroking off with your little buddy in the fucking comments about how I don't even mean what I say. Fuck off.
Guys, this is unrelated. This is totally unrelated, but you guys heard of Joe's Crab Shack, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, I got so much pussy there. I literally got crabs from Joe's Crab Shack. True story. True story.
Sounds
I swear it happened, guys. Crazy shit happened to Joe's Crab Shack. People hit up the all-you-can-eat crab and they lose their minds.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh my God, man.
Dude,
it's such a limp fucking argument, too.
What is the evidence you're being disingenuous? Like, what is the implication there? Just like, I have an opinion. Like,
It just like, I don't care. Like, I know that there's going to be a certain cross-section of people that assume that on the internet anyway.
Fine.
But if that's the only thing that you've got against me, like,
he's full of shit.
I don't got a counter-argument to this, so he must not even mean what he says. It's like, fuck you, pussy.
They're basically arguing that you're being a contrarian. Like, you're just trying to stir up the fucking pot. That's
He doesn't even mean what he says, and I should know because I am the arbiter of reason.
You're also unreasonable, Paul.
I shall decide what is reasonable and what is not. It's like, what?
Yeah. I gained the ability to discern perfect reason when I was zapped by God through the internet. Fuck you.
You're not.
I hope the internet
writing
zaps
a
you
new
again
canon here.
and this time kills you, you dumb fuck.
Well, maybe it did kill the cat. I don't know. Maybe the second zap was what.
Sorry to breach that little piece of protocol, but that cat's been dead for 2 fucking years at least.
I know you told me that. That was weird.
I don't know. Maybe switch over to a gerbil or something. You know, get a new animal, get a lizard, get something long-lived.
Do some like kind of Doctor Who shit with it.
Dude, get something. Yeah, and because you're such a fart sniffer. Get
CC takes a new form.
The gerbil is good because it can also go up your ass, so it serves multiple.
Dude,
purposes.
what if you wrote like a horror story about the cat's soul being trapped on Earth as long as he keeps the character alive?
Or how about this? How about a horror story where Vadim Newquist slowly loses his mind and becomes the cat? You know what I mean? Like in his own mind, he's now CC, the soul of his dead fucking cat.
What's up, Shudamite?
Hey, everybody.
All right. So, one last Bernie thing, and then we can move on.
More feeling the burn.
So this is pretty interesting, I feel like. Unprecedented Bernie Sanders campaign says it raised $6 million from 225,000 donors in the first 24 hours. So I think the press was like basically jizzing in its pants when Kamala Harris raised $1.5 million in a day.
Uh-huh.
Bernie Sanders got to that in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Dude, there should be an apoplectic dude with $6 million. I mean,
well, CNN has not anointed him.
He's actually raised more money now from in one day than the rest of the Democratic field has raised in its entirety.
Wow.
Since they started.
Warren didn't even raise $1 million. She raised like 200,000. I mean, look, Bernie Sanders, whatever you want to say about him, is very savvy on social media. Like, and he has been pushing shit like, because I follow him on social media and stuff, and like, there's a lot of good videos and stuff that come out about important issues, and but not only that, it's not just like he's going to the abyss here. Tons of shares, tons of likes. He's been in the fucking public's mind. He's in the zeitgeist. And I'm not at all surprised to see him raise this much money.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely like one of those electrifying politicians that seems to speak to a broad swath of America, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it does. I'll be honest with you, it does surprise me that he's outraised the entire Democratic field in the first day. That is actually really
But Sanders
noteworthy.
has shown he has an engagement. Like, most people that don't normally give to politicians give to Bernie. And they most people are giving him the $27 thing. So, like, I got the email. Taylor got the email. You guys probably got the email, too. And, like, there's just an engagement with Bernie that, like, just for youthful voters. And, I mean, I think it's, like, he's not going to get the Clinton people. Those are all, if we're talking about the demographics Clinton won, she won people over 45. So Bernie didn't.
Yeah,
he's getting all these small donations from young people. Basically millennials are kind of like his base, and I mean, you're really seeing that here. So I mean, but you see, he's so engaged on social media. I mean, what does it say here? It says, since putting it online early Tuesday morning, the campaign said the senator's launch video was viewed more than 8.3 million times across social media platforms, including 5.3 million views on Twitter alone. I mean, that just shows you whoever's running his social media is extremely savvy with it.
Yep.
I just want to point out too, it's a very far cry from the 2016 campaign, how it was rolled out. Because if you just remember, like it was like basically like a harried Bernie Sanders between legislative sessions, just kind of like went out on some steps.
I'm going to be the president.
Yeah, I'm going to run for president.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I know. Yeah,
You'll see. Bye. It's like, all right, this time he's got like
isn't that what people kind of like about Bernie?
smooth rollout and shit.
Yeah, they love
you
that
know?
gif of him like running in the airport.
Yeah.
That they love that he's a speedy little old man, you know?
I saw a comment in the comment section of his rollout that's like, he's serious this time. He combed his hair. It was like, God damn, all right.
I gotta admit, dude, I like Bernie. I'm disappointed in him as a politician, especially given the deep, deep dislike and deep mistrust I have for anything with Clinton printed on it.
Oh God!
And for him to throw his arm around that and endorse that was a hard thing for me to take.
So
It's made me personally unable to support him going forward. But I still think he's, his heart's probably in the right fucking place. I just think he's going to hand a lot of that dough and a lot of that support right to Kamala Harris at the end of this.
So, TJ, have you donated to Bernie?
Yes, I have.
You did the 27.
Well, do you mind divulging how much you donated?
$27.
$27. All right, cool.
It was like, there's like a whole meme about it and shit. But, never mind. The left can't meme.